more money into the rural areas just through building more local food economies. And that would be the basis of stopping the migration and stopping the imperative for everyone to move into mega cities until they break down, and they have to break down. And I just have the scare of sewage overflowing on us.
Okay, we can go a little bit longer. Another question.
Dr. Shiva, in a scenario that you describe where the Monsantos of the world are failing, where will they be in 20 years' time, as you see it?
Well,
will they change their business model?
Well, the first thing is that Monsanto will change its name in the very near future. One reason it's merging is to change its name.
They've spoken about that, actually.
Yes, they've spoken about it. In fact, I think Hugh Grant said he made a mistake
by not changing their name. Yeah.
So Monsanto will be Monsanto. But I think, my next book that I'm writing right now, I don't know when it'll get published, but it should be finished by June. We are realizing that these powerful corporations have over time actually become a small part of the scene. And it's the financial world that's really driving things. 75% of even these big giants is the big, rich people. 62 men control half the wealth of the world. And they are just running the show with their investment patterns. So 20 years from now, if they continue on the path they is, the data is clear, 1% will control 99% of the economy. Now a 99% disposable economy is impossible. It'll break down in civic ways, it'll break down in political ways, it'll break down in ecological ways. So they don't have a 20-year future. That path is not available. The only path that will reach 20 years and beyond is the ecological path and the path of justice.
But you're saying their products are failing, so they will have to change.
But I'll quote Gandhi on this, when he was asked, the discussion those days used to be in terms of civilization, the West was civilized and we were not. And so, he was asked, he said, what's going to happen to the civilization? He said, you just have to be patient and it'll destroy itself. But I think we should be impatient in a good way and make a good change.
Another question?
Hi, Dr. Shiva. Thank you very much for the speech today. I wanted to ask you a small question regarding a very controversial scene which is coming up a lot in the news, at least the one that I read most, is about hemp. A lot about hemp is coming up, the products that can come out of it, the products that are coming out for healthcare and well-being. So what do you have to say about that, about hemp basically? Because it was there in a lot of civilizations for a very, very long time, and suddenly, in the last maybe 60, 80 years, it just went off one-sided as saying a bad thing. So yeah, that's.
Well, India, we've grown hemp for fiber, we've grown hemp for the species that are for oil seeds, but I think the issue is it doesn't take too much to see how easy it is to criminalize something. I mean, they're trying to criminalize our innocent open pollinated seeds right now, or making cheese. Poor old women from churches who brought cakes to hospitals in England were told that this was a danger to health, and they couldn't bring cakes. And people had better live on Coca-Cola and Pepsi while sick in hospital. So, criminalization is very easy when there's a desperation to create a market monopoly. And that's why this system that calls itself globalization and based on competition is anything but competitive. Because it just doesn't allow alternatives to flourish. Because alternatives are superior, unfortunately.
I think this might have to be our final question.
Final question, okay.
Better make it a good one.
Better make it a good one. When we hear the word globalisation, there seems to me to come this reaction that we have to be local or small or something. But my sense is that these sort of ideas need to be global. This needs to be globalisation. This is the real, a positive sense of globalisation of these ideas. And I I'm not sure whether I'm wording this well, but the planet is too small, and how can we globalise this sort of movement?
So the first issue is we need to shrink our footprint, and the corporate globalization is actually expanding our footprint. And Samdong Rinpoche, who's been teaching at our Earth University, and we offer courses on Gandhi, on A to Z of organic farming, he always said, I don't want to participate in the sin. Because even as a consumer, I'm forced to participate in the entire destructive chain. What we need to globalize is not the material, extraction and destruction and pollution. What we need to globalize is our consciousness and our solidarity. So I call it planetary. All of us need to have a planetary consciousness, that we live on one amazing planet, and its care is the duty for each and every one of us. And that this planet actually connects us all, through the water system, through the climate system, through every cycle of life. And then we need solidarity. Solidarity used to be a very popular word before corporate globalization took over, because it replaced relationships of support to each other. And we need more of that solidarity, and we need more of ecological awareness, and we need less of consumption, and we definitely need less of junk being traded, more and more destroying local economies, people's sense of who they are, as well as the planet itself. So I'll say, enlarge your consciousness and shrink your footprint.
Thank you.
Thanks very much for coming along this evening. It's been a terrific night. If, like me, you have some idea of the breadth of Vandana's writing and work, you'll know how daunting it was to try and get across just a small chunk of it. I've been reading so much material over the past few days, it was kind of hard to know where to start. But look, I hope we've covered at least some of the important issues tonight. The good news is that Vandana does have a limited number of books for sale out in the foyer, and I think you'll be signing some of them after this session. If you want to get one, I reckon you probably want to get out there early, because there's not that many of them, and you might be able to, who knows, have a bit more of a chat to Vandana while she's signing your book. But look, thanks for coming along tonight. It's been fantastic to have you here. Have a great night.
Thank you.